welcome back to another board game breakfast. Hey guys, it's been a busy week last week, but we are back on schedule now. Lots of reviews to do. I mean, a lot of reviews to do. We've been playing games right and left, trying to figure out which ones. I mean, you know, every company wants us to do their review from Gen Con first, and you all want very specific ones first, but that's just, you know, there's just too many games to be able to get them out on some kind of consistent level. But we got some coming for you. I got a Q&A for you, live Q&A, but we're going to hold that off until tomorrow. We'll do that tomorrow around 2 p.m. on Tuesday. So I'll do some question and answers then. And that's pretty much it. Let's get into, well, the news. No news because we did it all last week and no one's announced anything between then and now, really. But I'm going to take this time to talk about a contest that we're running. Now, we're running a Dice Tower Network-wide contest. And in that Dice Tower Network-wide contest, you can win on the different shows, including Board Game Breakfast. You can win a $50 gift certificate to Cool Stuff. Pretty cool. That's pretty much any game. However, all those winners will be taken and mixed up, and one of those winners is going to get a $500 gift certificate to Cool Stuff. $500 can get you a lot of games. Some of you are probably like, oh, filling up that $500 now. So if you want to enter it from the Board Game Breakfast side of things, and besides, you'll be able to enter it in Board Game Blender, you'll be able to enter in the Dice Tower shows and many of the other shows on the network. Anyhow, to enter in on this show, you need to email me at dicetower@gmail.com. In the subject heading, you must put the word breakfast. Nothing else. If you do anything else, your entry will not count. And then in the subject, just tell me what your favorite segment of Board Game Breakfast is. Just let me know that, and you'll be entered in the contest. And in September, we will announce the winner.
So, friends, this summer, I was able to take Whitleypedia across the pond on a trip to London, England. We saw some amazing artifacts from gaming history. Okay, so we are here at the British Museum and we're accomplishing a personal goal of mine, which is to see ancient dice from Roman times. Look, just like us, Romans wanted to game. Here they have some ancient D6s. Look at that. Look how old those D6s are. And then over here, the crown in their collection here, we have D20s from the 1st or 2nd century AD. Look at that. Look at that, D20s with Roman numerals on them. And that one is enormous. That's even bigger than my biggest D20. But that's not all we saw. We also saw... Okay, so we have here one of the first ever examples of board games in human history. Right here, this is a game called the Royal Game of Ur.
Yeah, so this is an early example of a game that was played all over the ancient Near East for about 3,000 years.
Wow, and we thought Settlers being played for 20 years was impressive. And over here is the instructions. The rules still probably weren't written very well. The Royal Game of Ur. Oh, and there's dice.
They're four-sided.
There's dice and chits. Four-sided dice. Man, the origin of board games as we know it. Okay, so we're here. There's this ancient pair of statues here, which guarded the king's door. It's kind of like the Never-Ending Story, if you saw that. Okay, and the guards would have to sit there, and over here, the guards who sat here made their own board game. Here's the version that they made for themselves to play while they were waiting. So that is awesome. There you have it. The birthplace of civilization. From ancient times to today, a history of gaming. And when you think about it, isn't that what Whitleypedia is all about?
Folks, not a lot of reviews came out last week, but this week we have several coming out. I got the new simplified Mage Wars Academy is coming. We'll be taking a look at Rattle Battle from Portal Games, Monster Laundry, Arcadia. We have Dragon Farkle, Melee, Firefly Shiny Dice, Artifacts Incorporated, Game of Crowns, Queen's Necklace, Heebie-Jeebies, and this game you probably haven't heard of, but it's pretty neat. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Oh, I'm sorry, On Her Majesty's Service from the World of Smog, from Cool Mini or Not. Okay, so all those are coming. I got other reviews coming from my other reviewers. You'll see different videos this week. We're going to be doing a the live show that we did at Gen Con. That's going to be posted tomorrow. And other stuff is coming your way. Anyway, keep an eye out for that. You can find all this on dicetower.com.
I'm russet taupe, professional board game designer. I recently attended Gen Con with several other designers, and thanks to being left alone in a room with their luggage, I managed to come home with a copy of the white-hot new game, Mysterium. From a designer standpoint, it didn't disappoint. Now, I'm not talking about the gameplay, I mean, who cares about that? No, I'm talking about the game's most valuable asset, its name. Oh yeah. See, when I first heard that the publisher was going to change the game's title for the American version, I was discouraged. A unique name gives a game instant mindshare. I mean, if someone asks you to play Tha Amnesia Domo Serwa, you know exactly what game they're talking about. But at least the new name, Mysterium, continues the brilliant trend of unnecessarily cramming the letter Y into a possibly made-up word. That's how you grab people's attention in today's marketplace. At least it used to be. As with any really good idea, the market has inevitably become flooded by a sea of games sporting superfluous letters in their titles, such as Asteroids, Xenoshift, and Elandis, whose Y-saturated name proves my design theory that anything worth doing is worth overdoing. So, if anything, the name Mysterium doesn't go far enough. It's like I was telling Eric Lang while he was searching for his wallet. If you want your game to stand out in the marketplace, forget innovative mechanisms, original gameplay, or quality components. What you need is an indecipherable name that consumers won't be able to correctly type into a search engine. That way, they'll be forced to unplug from their online conversations and find your game by word of mouth. And the only thing that spreads faster than word of mouth are online conversations. So, take the same advice that I gave Eric while he was on the phone canceling his lost credit cards. Forget your Blood Rages or your Arcadia quests and bring on your Juliuses. But act fast, because the bar continues to be raised even higher. Need proof? Just check out the upcoming wisely named Suburbia expansion, 5-Star. That's not the word star in the title, but an actual 5-pointed geometric shape. Try typing that into a search engine. That'll wake you up. It's a brilliant strategy that I'll be employing in the title of my next game, Pickpocket, a game inspired by a recent encounter I had with a fellow designer at Gen Con. You can tell this game's gonna be hot, because it's gonna be spelled with 2 Y's, 4 Q's, and an upside-down number 4. Oh yeah. So grab your wallet and make sure you reserve your copy of it today. Oh, Eric's a Virgo.
不是星。这画风太西式了，我不大喜欢。算了，不要。又是个僵尸游戏，玩多了不要。我对火车没什么兴趣的。不要。这种游戏感觉就应该会打很久。Dixit， 这看起来就像是儿童游戏，把我当成几岁啊？不要，没兴趣。女仆组套牌游戏，靠，又不是宅男。算了，都没有一个看起来像样的，还是回去玩英雄联盟。
We're taking a look at the treasury. Now, this was a Kickstarter here, and it comes in a box like this, and this is basically money. So you get the whole box full of cards. So we'll take these cards out, and inside you'll see that we have cards of different denominations. We have 1s on them with a lamb. We have 2s with a bulldog. We have 5s with a fox. Apparently what the fox says is 5. We have 10 with an eagle. We have 50s with a bear. And we have 100s with a lion. You can see that there's quite a number of each. The cards themselves, it's hard to tell here from the camera, but they have linen finish on them. They bend pretty easily. I just did bend that one a little bit, but you shouldn't be messing with them that much anyway, I think. They're easy to shuffle. They all have the same back, so if you're playing a game where money is secret, you can do that. Are these worth it? Well, the quality is high. The pictures are fun, although the pictures may detract from a game. Maybe if you're playing some game where this artwork just clashes, that would be my concern. I like them, though. I'd rather use card money over paper money or small token money any day. Card money is easy to shuffle. They have a good amount in here. The 1s, 2s, 5s, 10s, 50s, and 100s. Of course, if your money is higher than that, that's not going to help very much. But this is the denominations you use for most game, even if it ends up being 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000. So is this worth getting? I think so. I like card money, like I said. I prefer my money matched a game if possible. Is this a good alternative to poker chips? Well, it's certainly cheaper, so I would probably promote this over poker chips. Not to mention, this box here is a lot easier to carry around than a whole thing of poker chips. So that's interesting. So I don't know. I like them. I think they're very nice and useful. Whether you want them or not, though, is probably, do you like this artwork? I think it's fun and interesting. I think they look good. There's different colors. There's different symbols. It's an ease thing, and they're good quality. So I think highly of them. Maybe you'll like them. Check them out. Again, this is called The Treasury.
Welcome to Building Blocks with the Dukes of Dice.
Let's say you want to teach a non-gamer a cutthroat game of deal-making and backstabbing, like nothing personal. In this medium-weight negotiation game, players take on the roles of powerful mafia families, trying to wield influence over mobsters and maneuvering them into positions of power. Almost every action in the game requires some kind of deal to be struck.
The problem with a game like Nothing Personal for a non-gamer is that there are a lot of mechanics that might be overwhelming, and there's a high level of nuance to that negotiation. Negotiation games in general require a player to make deals and alliances. To do so skillfully requires a player to realize how much to give away and to whom, and exactly what to ask for in return. There's often a decision of when to backstab.
To ease someone into the experience of a negotiation game, we recommend Bonanza. In Bonanza, players are bean farmers trying to plant and harvest similar crops and earn the most money. Players will get a hand of different types of bean cards of varying rarity and value.
On a turn, a player must plant the oldest bean in their hand. Throughout the game, you might be forced to plant in a field. If you don't have the same type of bean planted or an empty field, then you're forced to uproot one of the existing fields. Hopefully you have enough beans in the field to get paid some money. The more beans, the more money.
In between planting beans and redrawing your hand, the active player will reveal 2 beans from the deck. That player must play them in his fields, donate them to other players, or trade them along with any other cards from his hand to sweeten the deal with another player for cards from their hand. Any of these traded cards are immediately planted by all players.
Maybe several players will want one of the revealed beans. Who can make the better offer? Will you make non-binding future promises? And if you do, will you live up to those deals?
There's a lot of deal making going on in this game, without it being too overwhelming for a non-gamer. Have them try this first to see if they enjoy this kind of play before you sit down for several hours, stab them in the back, and then have them drive home and seriously make them question your friendship.
You know what really gets my goat is cards that have square corners. Now, I know that cards with round corners require extra cost. The different companies I used to run, I cutter myself that would cut cards, and those round corners take a different machine to run those through. But square corners on cards are horrific. A couple reasons. One, it's easy to damage yourself with the cards. They jab you. It's a real pain in the neck, which also means that the corners themselves easily get damaged. And so it's really easy to see those. It's harder to shuffle square cards. It's harder to sort them out. The rounded cards just fit together in your hand. So if you're a game publisher, round the corners of your cards, please.
Hey gamers, welcome back to the bakery. My name's Doug, the board game baker, and today we're going to control the horizontal and the vertical. Scalability in game design is often a huge issue, or small one, depending on your perspective. Making sure that your players have a consistent game experience, regardless of the number of players who are playing the game, is often a big design challenge. You can do this by adding or removing cards, changing the player board, changing the number of spaces on the player board, changing the tokens the players start with, changing the starting and ending conditions. All of these are different ways you can use to help scale the experience and make sure it's consistent throughout the gameplay. Keep in mind that these techniques can only take you so far, and some games just can't scale that much. You need to think about the target number of players you want to design for in your game, and then try to scale up and down from that just as much as you can. In the factory prototype game we're working on, I originally thought about a card-based system to generate demand. But this didn't scale, right? So that card deck didn't scale with the number of players who were involved. So I went to actually a dice-based system where the dice generate the demand based on the number of players. This gives us a nice bell curve when the demand is rolled and ultimately provides a better playing experience for when we have 2 players all the way up to 4 players. So the number of players determine the number of the dice. We roll the dice determines the demand. That allows me to scale essentially from 2 to 4 players as my target audience for the game. All right, that's it for this week. We'll catch you next episode. And remember, that's Board Game Baker without any spaces. And check these things out when you get a chance. Catch you later.
If there's one thing that we saw at Gen Con, it's that there is no shortage of games coming out. There were over 100 new games probably released at Gen Con, possibly more. There are going to be at least 300 or 400 more that are released at the Essen Game Fair. There have been hundreds released already in the year, hundreds more that will be coming out, probably at least 1,000 games that will be released in the year 2015. Now, I know the actual number of games is much, much higher than that, but if we cut out mass market and, really tiny publishers, still 1,000 games, and everyone is jumping into the game publishing business. So I wanted to make a public service announcement, and that's this. Stop making mediocre games. And see, here's the thing, and this is what gets me, is that I know some of these publishers, when they make these games, they know they're mediocre. They know they're just, they're pretty good. Stop making pretty good games. Stop making things that are okay. When you take a game, take that game and own it. Make that game amazing. Don't cut corners. Take your game to the top. Days of Wonder, recently bought by Asmodee, and for good reason, was well known. They only put out 1 or 2 games a year, and yet the games they put out were phenomenal. They had games like Ticket to Ride and Memoir 44 and Small World and Shadows over Camelot, which did amazingly well. They had games that were not quite as received as well, like Colosseum, the Mystery Express game, and others. But every game they did, you could tell that they put all the effort they could into it. Not just the components, which they did a great job in, but they also worked on the rules. They made sure there was support on the internet, and they were convinced that the game itself was amazing. Now, it wasn't always. Right? It wasn't always. But they were convinced. Guys, you would be amazed that sometimes I talk to people and they're like, yeah, the game's pretty good. What is with this pretty good stuff? And what is with this, we'll put out the game. If people like it, maybe we'll make a nicer version someday. Put your best foot forward now. Isn't that the whole point of Kickstarter here? Is to take games and making them just fantastic. And yet it seems that while the quality of games has gone up over the past decade, we've seen games get better. We've seen them get better in quality. But at the same time, we've seen some slipshod stuff that's happened. We certainly have not seen a big improvement in rules writing. We haven't seen a big improvement in publicizing the game and talking about it and having, for example, if you're a game company, why would you not have videos explaining how to play your game on the internet from day one? Have the game play tested by people you don't know, get the answers to some frequently asked questions, and get a FAQ ready from day one. Of course, that would be useful to have in the rule book too. But to be prepared, I am enthused with companies. We make fun of Cool Mini or Not sometimes because this game here on Her Majesty's Service, this is a Euro game, and this game is done up in unbelievable style, how well produced and put together. But you can tell they believed in this game and they were determined to put out an amazing product. And I like that about them. I like that this is a big thing. Asmodee is calming down, and they used to publish a billion things. Now they're publishing fewer, but really putting effort into those. When Madigo makes a game, everyone stops and goes, what is this thing? And that's what I'm looking for. When you're a designer, design all you want, but when you're a publisher, you have the opportunity to pick amongst hundreds and hundreds of games. And yet so many publishers, so very many, take a game and go, we could probably sell some of this. But why would you want to do that when you can say, let's find the best? Sure, you might know the designer. Sure, you might be friends with the designer. Sure, you might really like the guy or girl. But the fact is that their game should be great before you publish it. And this is nothing new I'm saying here. This is no groundbreaking revelation, but it just needs to be said every once in a while. There are so many games that we play and we're like, yeah, it was okay. Yeah, it was good. It was good. But there's 1,000 games plus coming out every year. You can't afford your game to be good. Have some pride in what you do. Make it the best that you can possibly do. Make it something unique so that when people say, oh, I know that game, it's from this company. Why not? Mediocrity is everywhere. Mediocrity is satisfactory, but it shouldn't be. Strive to make the best games you can.
Driver, how do you know everybody?
We are all colleagues. We work together. We work at a board game cafe.
What do you do for work, sir?
I am the curator of the board game collection at the cafe.
You're a what?
I'm a curator.
I don't know what that is.
I am in charge of the collection of board games that we have.
What do you do for work, sir? What's your function?
I teach people how to play board games.
Play
board games, that's correct.
These are your colleagues?
Yes, they are.
What do they do?
Similar jobs. I have the general manager of the cafe in here.
When you say cafe?
Yeah.
What's a cafe?
We're a restaurant.
Right, you're
people,
a restaurant.
Yeah, people come.
Where's your restaurant located?
It's in Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah.
Okay. And when people go into, I assume, eat in the restaurant, you teach them to play board games.
That's correct.
And the name of the restaurant is?
It's called Snakes and Lattes.
Where are we going today, sir?
We're going to Indianapolis.
Purpose?
We're going to attend Gen Con, which is a convention about board games.
All right, so this is a convention, you said?
Yes.
Thank you.
And what does that mean, a convention?
Well, it's tens of thousands of people from around the world, primarily North America, come to the convention center in Indianapolis to play board games, buy board games, have fun.
Okay, but you teach board games. You
Yes.
don't sell board games.
Not me personally, no.
The business you work for,
The business that I work for does sell board games, but we are not going to Indianapolis to sell anything.
So what are you going to go?
We're going to go and see what new games are out and what we might be interested in acquiring for the cafe.
Set up?
No, we do not.
No. I've never heard of a restaurant. Go in there. What kind of food do you serve?
We sell sandwiches, salads, quiches.
Desserts.
We do desserts, brownies, waffles, that sort of thing.
And as people eat, they can play a board game.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting.
We have thousands of them.
Such a beautiful story. All right, so good day.
Thank you very much. Have a good day too.
Tom Vasel! Oh my gosh! It is such a pleasure to meet you, Tom. I'm a huge fan. Can I shake your hand?
Hey, that's it for this week, folks. You'll notice that I didn't do a week in review because I didn't do any reviews last week, but I will make up for that this week. There are reviews coming. I already have the reviews lined up for next week and the week after that. We are playing games like mad. We are working hard to get these reviews out to you. There's lots of good stuff coming. August is going to be an amazing month for reviews, but we're not forgetting about other stuff. I know I didn't put up Eric's Top 100 last week. What's wrong with me? I'll put up 2 this week to make up for that. So keep an eye on that. And I will be soon starting to record with Jason his Top 100, so you can look for that. Videos are coming, people. Hang on to your horses. Live plays are coming. Watch our channel for when we announce those. Subscribe to Twitter. We'll tell you when we will do some live playthroughs of games. It's going to be a good time. If you're in Texas this coming weekend, Sam and Z are coming to a small convention. I forget the name of the convention itself. I'll have to look it up, put it in the show notes below. But they'll be coming, so hopefully you can go by. If you're in that area, swing by and say hello to them. Either way, folks, once again, thanks for watching. Tom Vasel, Board Game Breakfast.
Thanks for watching Board Game Breakfast. Tune in each week for your daily dose of gaming goodness with Tom Vasel and all the gang. Until next time, I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching Board Game Breakfast, a Dice Tower production, sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., an amazing place to buy board games. Cool stuff in stock at coolstuffinc.com.